Hello, my name is David. I am a front-end developer here at Crystal Commerce, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the Inventory Products page. This has been a big focus of ours over the past couple of months, and I want to thank our members that participated in testing to help us get to this spot. Let's jump in and talk about the updates. Arriving on the page for the first time, you'll probably notice the layout is pretty similar. The category filters are still on the left, product and variant filters in the middle, and the batch updates area is over on the right. Inside of each one of these modules, though, you'll find a bunch of differences, so let's go ahead and walk through each one of these, starting with the category filters. If you're like most of our members, you probably have tons and tons of categories, and that can make finding the right one kind of difficult. In the previous version of this page, that often meant you had to scroll for days to find the category you wanted. In the new version, we've nested all categories inside of their parents, so what you see now is a list of parent categories that can be expanded and contracted. Click the arrow to expand the category, and click the name or the checkbox to select it. Typing into this text box still filters all of the categories, and in the results all of the nesting is gone, so you just get a flat list of categories that match your query. That wraps up category filters and brings us to the center of the page, the product type, and variant filters. Two main changes to these filters. We've grouped them together more obviously in these accordions that expand and contract, and we've reordered the filters in this top section to prioritize the ones that members use the most. The rest of the filters are still available to you after clicking the Show More button. The filters inside an accordion can be active even if the accordion is collapsed, so to help you understand the state of your filters, we've added some indicators. When an individual filter is active, the background will turn yellow, and the accordion tab will have a little orange indicator on it that lets you know the total number of active filters within that accordion. Alright, I'll clear out of these filters and let's move to the Batch Updates panel. The changes here are pretty similar to the Filters area. We've added an accordion to minimize the footprint and to group actions together. We've also added some help text so that all users can better understand what this panel is for. To activate any of the batch update controls, click the checkbox or the label and specify the changes that you want to make. Last thing here before we move on, we've reordered the actions in the product tab to prioritize the ones that members use the most. All the rest are still available, just expand the drawer by clicking the Show More button. That wraps up our conversation about the search and filter controls. Let's turn our attention to the search results now. This part of the page has received a major redesign, and I'm really excited to show you around. So let's talk specifics. Click on any product image to see a larger version of that product. To see and edit the product details, you'll click the product name. That'll bring you to the product details page, which also got a facelift, and we'll talk about that more in a second. The activity log and delete links are still present at the bottom here, and at this point current users are probably wondering where the Manage button is. That brings me to an important point that I want to make. In the Crystal Commerce system, there's a direct link between variance and quantity. A product cannot have a quantity unless it has a variant. The previous user interface didn't communicate that connection very well, and it led to some confusion, especially among new users. We've tried to eliminate that confusion by making the relationship between the two things much more clear. In order to expand the variance, you interact with the quantity. Click directly on the total quantity to expand the default variance. If you want to get more specific than that, the drop-down to the right contains menus that allow you to select the specific variant that you want to see. Once you're done with the variance, click either of those two buttons to hide the variance again. The net change column is up next. Net change is a single number that shows whether the stock level of that product is moving up or down over the past 6 weeks. This was actually present in the old admin, but as a list of 5 links, and you'd need to do the math in your head to figure it out. In this new version, we've reduced that to a single number, and you get the extra information if you hover over it. Market prices look a little bit different now as well. The legacy market price, with low, medium, and high, is displayed on the bottom, and the new beta market price, which breaks down channel specifics, is the upper bold number. To see more information about either of those prices, hover or click on the number. The beta market price also has buy price info displayed in the buy price column. That's it for the updates to the product row. Let's crack the variants back open to see the updates there. Off to the left, you see the variant name and value for each row, in this case, condition near mint, language, English. In the middle, you see 3 fields: quantity, optimum quantity, and reserved quantity. There's also a checkbox for infinite quantity as well. Reserved quantity and infinite quantity are not new things, but they're newcomers to this row. They used to be elsewhere. We thought bringing them here with the rest of the variant controls made sense. Finally, we simplified the variant price display. You see the sell price and the buy price and a drop-down for each. Inside of the drop-down is something called the default pricing controls. They still work like they used to, but so few members use them that we felt this simplification was warranted. If you want to learn more about the default pricing algorithm, check out the link in the tooltip. All right, the last thing on this page to cover is the updated product details modal. This is where you would go to update shipping weight or the category the product is in, really any product-specific info. The new layout flows better and remedies the tragic overlapping text issue that was fairly common in the last version. All the product info fits on one page now, so there aren't any tabs along the top anymore. That does it for the updates to the inventory page. Now there's 2 other quick things I want to mention before I go. The first thing is an option that we added to the orders page. We heard in feedback after the last release that it was really important to be able to see all of the details while on this page. So we added a toggle in the upper left that lets you load the full order info here without ever leaving the page. We also added back the order history info and payment icons in each order row. Second, we heard that it was important to be able to fully hide the sidebar in some situations. So, by using the little X at the top of the page, you can now do just that. That's all for this update, and as always, we want to hear your feedback. Feel free to get in touch with support or email our product team, product@crystalcommerce.com.